The Boeing B-29 Superfortress was a four-engine, long-range heavy bomber used primarily by the United States during World War II and the early years of the Cold War. As one of the most advanced aircraft of its time, the B-29 featured cutting-edge technology and was designed to deliver immense firepower over great distances. Its most famous missions were the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which played a pivotal role in ending the war with Japan. The B-29's legacy is marked by its technical innovation, strategic importance, and its lasting impact on military aviation. The B-29 was developed in response to a U.S. Army Air Corps specification from 1939 that called for a long-range, high-speed bomber capable of carrying a large payload at high altitudes. Boeing responded with the design that would become the B-29, an aircraft featuring numerous technological advancements that made it one of the most sophisticated bombers of its time. Work on the B-29 began in earnest in 1940, and the aircraft made its maiden flight on September 21, 1942. The B-29 was designed to have a range exceeding 3,000 miles and the capability to carry up to 20,000 pounds of bombs. Its pressurized cabin allowed for high-altitude flight, something that previous bombers lacked. This pressurization enabled the crew to fly long distances at altitudes up to 31,000 feet, well above the range of most enemy anti-aircraft defenses and fighters of the time. Another innovation of the B-29 was its remote-controlled gun turrets, which were directed by gunners from inside the aircraft via analog computers. The aircraft had 4 gun turrets, 2 on top and 2 on the bottom, each of which could be directed to multiple targets simultaneously. The combination of defensive firepower and its operational altitude made the B-29 difficult to attack, enhancing its survivability in hostile airspace. Boeing built the B-29 at 4 main plants, 2 owned by Boeing in Wichita, Kansas, and Renton, Washington, one operated by Bell Aircraft in Marietta, Georgia, and another by Martin in Omaha, Nebraska. Between 1943 and 1946, a total of 3,970 B-29s were produced. The sheer scale of production highlighted the significance of the B-29 to the U.S. war effort, as it was expected to serve as the primary heavy bomber in the Pacific theater. The most common variant of the B-29 was the B-29A, which featured minor improvements over the original model, including stronger defensive armament and structural enhancements. Other specialized versions of the B-29 were developed for specific roles, such as reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and the delivery of nuclear weapons. One of the most significant variants was the Silver Plate series, which was specifically modified for the atomic bomb missions. These B-29s were stripped of their defensive armament to reduce weight and increase speed, allowing them to carry the massive atomic bombs Little Boy and Fat Man that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, respectively. The B-29 is most famous for its role in the Pacific theater during World War II. When it entered service in 1944, the B-29 was used to bomb Japanese cities, airfields, and industrial targets. Its long range allowed it to reach targets deep in Japanese territory from bases in China and later the Mariana Islands, particularly Tinian and Saipan. The strategic bombing campaign against Japan marked a shift in tactics as the U.S. aimed to cripple Japan's war production capabilities and demoralize the civilian population. Initially, the B-29s carried out high-altitude precision bombing, but these missions were hampered by high winds and cloud cover over Japan, which made it difficult to accurately hit targets. Under the command of General Curtis LeMay, the strategy shifted to low-altitude nighttime incendiary bombing. B-29s dropped thousands of tons of firebombs on major Japanese cities, most notably during the firebombing of Tokyo on March 9 to 10, 1945, which caused widespread destruction and killed over 100,000 people. The B-29's strategic bombing campaign culminated in its role in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The B-29 Enola Gay dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima on August 6, while the B-29 Bockscar dropped the second bomb on Nagasaki 3 days later. These missions, which devastated the two cities and killed tens of thousands of people, were instrumental in forcing Japan's surrender, effectively ending World War II. The B-29 Superfortress was highly successful in fulfilling its role as a long-range bomber during World War II. Its ability to strike targets deep within enemy territory without the need for fighter escorts or close ground support allowed it to dominate the airspace over Japan. The combination of advanced technology, heavy bomb loads, and long-range capabilities made it an ideal tool for the kind of strategic bombing campaigns that characterized the latter part of the war. After World War II, the B-29 continued to serve in the U.S. Air Force during the early years of the Cold War. It was used in the Korean War for both bombing and reconnaissance missions, although by that time, it was increasingly being phased out in favor of newer jet-powered bombers like the B-47 and B-52. The B-29 became one of the most famous aircraft of World War II due to its role in the Pacific Campaign, particularly its use in the atomic bombings. Its technical sophistication, combined with its effectiveness in long-range strategic bombing, made it a symbol of American air power during the war. One of the reasons for the B-29's enduring popularity is its status as a technological marvel of its time. The aircraft incorporated many features that were ahead of their time, such as pressurized cabins, electronic fire control systems, and advanced engines. These innovations not only made the B-29 highly effective during the war, but also influenced the design of post-war bombers and commercial airliners. Additionally, the B-29's association with the atomic bombings has made it a significant aircraft in both military history and popular culture. The names Enola Gay and Bockscar are forever linked to the end of World War II and the dawn of the nuclear age, cementing the B-29's place in history. The Boeing B-29 Superfortress was a groundbreaking aircraft that played a critical role in securing victory for the United States in World War II. Its combination of long-range capabilities, advanced technology, and massive payload capacity made it an ideal bomber for the strategic air campaigns against Japan. Its success in wartime, coupled with its innovations, solidified the B-29's legacy as one of the most important and influential bombers ever built. Today, the B-29 remains a symbol of the technological and military might of the United States during one of the most consequential periods in world history.